Hey guys, welcome to Protocol Point. So this is the fourth part of our video tutorial series on creating a URL sorting application with Node.js, with integrating it with the Flutter application on the front end. So we have covered all the things like creating Express server, connecting to our MongoDB database, and creating a user database model as well as user URL submission model. You can see over here. So this has been covered in the previous part. So this is the fourth part. So in this part we are going to create a API route through which a user will be able to register himself into the application and he will be able to log in into the application. Okay, so we are going to create a backend RESTful APIs for that. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, so this is my project structure. If you have watched my video tutorial, so you might be knowing this structure. So here I have created a route folders. So in this route folders, I am going to create RESTful APIs. So let me create a file over here and I will just name it as user.routes.js. So this file will be responsible for all the user sections like user events like registration and login. Okay, so let me write the code now and let me create two APIs in this file. One is registration and one is login. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so to create express routes, I need to import express with its route. So here I will just create a variable routers, and from this routers I will just import express, and from this express I want route. So by using this class we can create API routes like HTTP CRUD operations, that is post method, get methods, another thing. And here as I'm going to store all the datas into our user database model, so in this database schema model I want to import this file. Okay, so let me import that also. User model require model user model. So by this I can just create a route now. Route, I'll just create a post method and I'll just name it as user registration, and then here I will just create a callback function that will accept two parameters. One is request and response from the API route. Request and response. And I will just keep this function as asynchronization. As we are going to communicate with our database, we must make it a synchronous function. Okay, so the same thing I will just create one more route, that is user login. So this we can use it later on. So first of all, let me cover the registration part. Okay, so for our user registration, I need to store three kinds of data in the user. One is name, his email, and his desired password. Okay, so these are the three parameters I need to accept from the front end. So inside this request.body, I can get that. So you can just use this, that is name. So inside this body, I am going to pass name, email, and password. Okay, so now, okay, so doing this, let me add a try and catch block so that if any error is found I can just get it. Okay, so I'll just log it over here. So error can be anything like database connectivity or other thing. Okay, so now whenever this user passed his data to store it into a database, first of all we must check if the email already exists in our database or no. Okay, so for that, const user is equal to await, so user model dot find one, and here I want to just find email ID. Okay, so if email ID exists, so if I get any data from the database in this variable, that means that a user is already registered with that email ID. Okay, so if user ID do not exist, then I can perform this action, and if user exists, then I can just perform this action. Okay, so if user exists, then I can just show a message to the user that response dot JSON in the JSON format, that success status. Okay, so I will just make the status as false. Okay, and success message will be user exists. Okay, and then if user do not exist, I need to create that user, that is I need to store that user's data into the database. Okay, so here I will just print the response as user successful. Okay, so here I want to just create, so I have just stored or sent a response. So here I need to store that user data into the database. So to store the data, I can do is const create user is equal to new user model, and here pass all the data that has been passed by the user. So this data create user.save. Okay, by doing this the data will get stored into our database, MongoDB database. Okay, so we have created a user registration, we can just check it. Okay, so let me stop the application. Okay, so I'll save the file and I'll just run the application. Okay, so to run this application I need to import this thing. So let me import that. Yeah, so I need to import modules.route, modules.route, sorry, module.export route. Okay, so export it. Okay, so here this route should be enabled at the Express server. So here our Express is running and it is making use of app file. Okay, so it has been imported over here, so you can see. So here it is. Okay, so here I just need to use this route. So user route, routers, user routes. Okay, and then app dot use user route. Okay, so let me tell you how this Node.js works. So whenever we start by making use of node index or by making use of any process management manager, by that is the starting point, I'm just starting index.js, that is the starting point of our application. So in this file everything whatever we have created a UI, that is MVC pattern, it has been imported over here. Okay, so here whenever I start index.js, as you can see our app got starts. So app, here app is using this file. Okay, so here we have our Express server. So here in this Express server I am just connecting my API route to this app. Okay, so here I am just connecting my API user route, that is this file. Okay, so by this I can just access this routes. Okay, so let's check it if it is working. Okay, so for that I will just open my Postman. Okay, so our server will be running on 3000 port with post method, and our API name is user registration. Okay, so I need to pass this user registration, and inside body I need to pass three parameters as our API expected, except that is name, email and password in the body. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, so first I need name, email and password. Okay, so just name keep as Rajat, comma, email ID I will just keep as rajat@gmail.com, and I will just keep password as 123. Okay, 1234. Okay, so now if I hit, let me check if my node is working. No, yeah, so node is working now. Okay, so you can see database connected. Okay, so now if I run this, you can see user created I got. So let me open my MongoDB compose to check the data got inserted into the database or no. Okay, so I'm just connecting to my local host. Okay, so this is the database, so you can see my code. So here in database configuration you can see this is my database name. Yeah, so in user you can see I got the user. Okay, so now if I create the same user again, you can see user already exists because email ID already exists. Okay, so I'll just enter some number, that is email ID, user created, so same thing will not repeat. Okay, so refresh, so you can see user got created. Okay, so now let's create a API route for user login, as we have created a user over here. So let me open my code. So here I have created a user login API. Okay, so all I need to do is I just need to copy the same code and paste it over here. So here from the front end I'm going to pass two parameters for a login. One is email and password. So there is no need of this name, so I'll just remove this one. Okay, and then here in finding from the database, that is writing a query, I'm going to find if email and password matches or no. Okay, so here both the conditions should match, so here password also should match. Okay, so both these conditions should match by email id as well as password. So if it match, then I'm going to get that particular user, and if that particular user exists, then user login was successful. Else that it means that user do not exist, so user invalid. So I can just pass a message that please try again or create an account. Okay, so I can just keep this message for now. Okay, and here I can just pass the user data as success. Okay, so here status will be true and here the status will be false with this message. Okay, and if it was successful, then I will get this user data in our front end, and I can just make use of it into storing into state preference in the front end, so that I can use it for logging the user to make use of front end part. Okay, okay, so let's check if this works or no. Okay, save this file, and I need to restart my node.js server. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the same thing here, I will just pass login. Okay, and I just need to pass email and password. Okay, so here I'm going to pass email and password is this. Okay, so you can see I'm getting success as true, status as true, and I'm just getting all the data of that particular user, and I can just store this data in my front end, that is Flutter application. I will do that in later tutorial. Okay, so here if I pass wrong password, so you can see user invalid. Okay, so here I'm just keeping this password simple just for this tutorial. Yeah, so if you want this password to be encrypted, you can check my other video tutorial on which I have created a to-do application, where I have explained all the things like password encryption and other thing. So if you want particularly password encryption for this tutorial, you can just comment down below, and I can just upgrade the code, and I'll just share the code in my description or on my website, so you can get it from there. Okay, so that's all for this video tutorial. So in the next part, that is the fifth part, I'm going to create an API route through which a user will be able to convert his long URL of a website into a short URL. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Proto Code as point. Thank you.